I've been watching a lot of Sporting Logically lately, and Tucker has been starting his video with some sort of a joke or off the cuff remark. And I don't really have anything funny to say, but I've been eating some celery and it's tasty. So maybe we'll start the video with me eating celery. So the NBA draft is in just a few weeks. Apparently, the NBA season is starting in December now, and we have no official date on when free agency is going to begin. So needless to say, the next couple of months and free agency going to be chaos and loads of fun. In today's video, it's my prediction for 5 of the top international players hitting free agency this offseason. I'm telling you who they are and where they should sign. How's it going, everybody? This is Troy, host of the Half Court Report YouTube channel, and it is that time again, time for another free agency video. You guys love these videos. I love making them. So hey, let's do another one. So I've done several of these already. I'm gonna link those in the comments, talking about several different topics. But the topic today, international players who are gonna be free agents this offseason. I need you guys to tell me what players you want to see in my next free agency video, so let me know that in the comments. Also, we are going for 500 likes on this video. That tells me that you guys really enjoy this content, and it tells YouTube to get this content in front of more people so we can help grow the channel, because I am going for 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are so close, and any help is appreciated. All right, let's get to today's video. First guy I want to talk about is Dario Saric of the Phoenix Suns by way of Croatia. He came to Phoenix last offseason after a trade from the Minnesota Timberwolves, carved out a role for himself as a nice sixth man at both the backup 4 and 5 spots. He did a nice job of showing his versatility, so I think we're seeing how Saric can be utilized best in the NBA. So where is Super Dario gonna go next season? Remember, he's a restricted free agent with Phoenix, so they are going to be able to match any offer that he gets. I think there's a good chance the Suns do bring him back. They'll likely have the cap space to match any kind of reasonable offer Dario were to get. I could see the Brooklyn Nets as an option as well. If they aren't able to bring back Joe Harris, they're going to have some extra money to spend. And I also expect them to move off Taurean Prince's contract around the draft by maybe offering up their pick as some sort of compensation so they can open up even more money. For the Brooklyn Nets, Saric could start or he could come off the bench. I think the Lakers are another good option for him. Again, they'll have some money open up depending on what their free agents decide and who picks up their player options. But Saric could slide into that Markieff Morris role. He would really fit nicely with the Lakers. Next up is Enes Kanter of the Boston Celtics by way of Turkey. His per 36-minute numbers have always been outstanding. He has got a real throwback game. He would have been a beast. He would have been a star in the 80s and 90s. He's not really going to score outside the paint, but get him the ball close to the hoop and he can just go to work. He's also developed a reputation as a really popular teammate and a guy who's great in the locker room. Always need that on a team. But Kanter's issue has always been his defense. He's the type of player who's very matchup dependent. He is on a player option for next year. His playing time in Boston won't be more than about 15 to 20 minutes per game, which is what he got this season. So he may look elsewhere to try and get more playing time and some more money. So along with the Celtics, I see the Warriors as an option. They likely wouldn't be able to pay him a ton, but hey, a chance to compete for a chip might be too much for him to pass up. I also like him as a guy grabbing all the rebounds for them. I think the Mavericks are an option too. Dwight Powell probably won't be 100% from that Achilles injury next year. So I think the Kanter, Kristaps Porzingis inside-out game might be something the Mavericks could use. Next up is Juan Hernangomez of the Minnesota Timberwolves by way of Spain. Hernangomez spent most of his career in Denver before that trade later in the season that sent him and Malik Beasley to the Timberwolves. That really helped in showing other teams what Hernangomez can do when he's given the minutes, and I think it sets him up for a nice payday going into free agency. He upped his averages all across the board, and especially his three-point shooting after that trade. And yeah, it could be a case of good stats, bad team kind of scenario, but there are also chances that it isn't. So maybe you want to see if Hernangomez can contribute that to your team. On a negative side though, Hernangomez struggles on the defensive end, which is something that will need to be fixed. He's a restricted free agent for the Timberwolves, so they're going to be able to match any offer that he gets. I would look for him to go to a team that lacks big man depth. So yeah, the Wolves could bring him back and try to capitalize on that nice run that he had with them this season. He can back up at the 4, or depending on what they do in the draft, he could even start at the power forward spot for the Timberwolves. I think the Pelicans, who are lacking for depth in the front court, could use him as well. He would be another shooter that you put around Zion and Brandon Ingram. Then I think the Pacers need some help behind Domantas Sabonis. They're not going to have a ton of cap space, but I think you could get Hernangomez on a deal that won't break the bank. And what about Bismack Biyombo of the Charlotte Hornets by way of the Congo? So he's a big man who can give you some solid minutes at the backup center spot. He's also a strong locker room vet. This season with the Hornets, he actually finished the year averaging a career high in points, if you can believe it. Biyombo also brought rebounding, rim protection, and just an overall defensive mindset throughout the course of the season. And a lot of guys looked up to him as a respected leader in the locker room. For that reason, I could see him fitting in on a contending team or a rebuilding team that needs his leadership. Biyombo is an unrestricted free agent, so he'll be able to sign with anybody. Wouldn't look for too much other than a veteran minimum deal for him. I think the Jazz make some sense as a backup for Rudy Gobert. You'd still have that defensive mindset. And what about the Clippers? They've got the scoring covered with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Biyombo can be a nice backup for them. Then if we're looking at a rebuilding team, I think the Thunder makes some sense. We don't know quite yet what's going to happen with Steven Adams. He could be on the trade block. They could bring him back, but the team might look a lot different next year. And in that case, Biyombo could move into a starting role for them and really take on that leadership role with their younger guys. Finally, we've got Marco Belinelli of the San Antonio Spurs by way of Italy. For the second year of Marco's second go-around with the Spurs, he did not have a good year, and to be honest, it was a pretty terrible year. I'm chalking it up just to a down year. I think he'd still be able to help a team with his outside shooting. I don't think it's going to be the Spurs, though. I feel like they are going to move on from him, but what about the Sixers? He actually had a good run with Philadelphia a couple years back when he signed with them toward later on in the season. They were in desperate need of shooting and would get Marco on a pretty good deal. I expect somewhere around the veteran minimum for him. Same goes with the Knicks. They're on record saying they want shooting, and that's going to be a priority for them this offseason. I think he could potentially get lots of minutes with them. Then you've got the Orlando Magic. Evan Fournier and Terrence Ross were the only shooters they could rely on last year. So having some guys with some range will be a priority for the Magic this offseason. That's what I think, but let me know in the comments what you think about these free agent moves. Do you want these guys on your team? And also, you got to tell me what players you want me to cover that I haven't covered yet in these free agency videos. They're a lot of fun to do, and I'm happy to do them. So we are going for 500 likes on this video. Make sure you click that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And we are also looking to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So make sure you hit that sub button and join the channel. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. This is Troy with the Half Court Report, and I'll see you next time.